Hello everyone and welcome to episode 38 of the group Ironman series. In the last episode we finished off completing 10 chambers of Xerix, and I also finished off saying that I wanted to add a little bit more structure into the next episode, and between episodes I feel like I've done that. I went ahead and came up with a few hopefully short-term goals, so let me go ahead and explain them to you. So I still have the goal of the Armadillo crossbow and the Dexterous prayer scroll that I've been working on for a while now, but I have been kind of working on these things solo, and the Chambers of Xerix and Commander Zillianer are much easier to do as a group. So I think for now I want to move this to a group focus, and hopefully I can get the group to help these. Now some other goals that I wanted to add are 84 construction, as I already have this bank, and having a maxed house will just help me immensely with every goal in the future, not just the goals I'm going to list now. 90 crafting, I also have this banked, and I am going to actually give a few molten glass over to a Lonescape, that way he can get his crafting up to create the Boa Ferrodin Corrupted. However, I will still get 90 crafting as I have to do a little bit more sand mining in order to do Song of the Elves, which is actually the fourth goal, and to make the Tormented Bracelet, 90 crafting is what I need. Now, Song of the Elves is a goal that I actually want to spring up now opposed to later. I did want to wait until after the Inferno to focus on more questing, but there's more than one way to do the Inferno. Armadillo Crossbow and Dexterous Prayer Scroll was the way I initially planned, but those are very RNG oriented and maybe not something I can do as a solo, so Song of the Elves might be something that turns this all around. With the completion of Song of the Elves, it actually unlocks the Gauntlet and the Corrupted Gauntlet, which also rewards you with Crystal Armor and the Boa Ferrodin, which my teammate has actually gotten recently. Now I don't care how I do the Inferno, whether it's with an Armadillo Crossbow, or the Boa Ferrodin, or even the Twisted Bow if I strike it lucky, but it's something I want to get done as it's something I promised earlier on in the series to do after the Slayer grind. Since the Slayer grind's now done, I'm just going to do whatever comes first, whether I do get that Armadillo Crossbow, or we start working toward the Boa Ferrodin, which is something I'm actually going to start working towards. I definitely just said a lot, and it can be kind of hard to digest, but just know everything you see on screen are active goals that I will be working towards myself. And I guess the top left, the Armadillo Crossbow and the Dexterous Prayer Skull, is more so going to be a team goal now. I think what I'm going to start working on for this episode is Song of the Elves, maybe even completing it. I'm really not that far away if we look at the requirements here. I'm 2 quests away, 5 construction levels away, 2 mining levels away, and 8 woodcutting levels. Quite a bit for woodcutting, but woodcutting is a very fast skill, especially if you do like teak logs. It'll take me like, what, 3-4 hours, maybe a little bit more, but honestly, we can actually knock all these requirements out of the way. But before I even start working on Song of the Elves, what I want to do first is go ahead and turn everything in my inventory into a little bit of molten glass. That way, whenever a Lonescape needs to corrupt his Bofa, I can just go ahead and give him the molten glass he needs to get 78 crafting. With a pie boost, that'll be 82 crafting. And whenever I want to AFK, I can just grab some molten glass from my bank, make a few lantern lens, and eventually make the Dorgishan orbs for a little bit more XP. That could be an option, so let's start with that. I know I said I'm going to start with the molten glass, and I am, but man, there really isn't a great way to get to Luna Isle until you put a portal in your house. Definitely motivates me to want to get 84 construction as soon as possible, but for now I am going to stick with what I said, and let's just go ahead and get to the Lunar Spellbook, which I also go ahead and bring a bunch of Pure Essence every time I do that. That way I can get a little bit of runecrafting XP, because I don't think anyone likes training runecrafting. One thing I didn't mention is that you actually get crafting XP for casting Super Glass Make, which is actually really nice, as it means that I'm going to get myself very close, if not the level for 75 crafting. And if you're not sure why that's significant, I'm very close to 74 Hunter as I do my birdhouse runs all the time, which unlocks magic birdhouses. And in order to make magic birdhouses, I actually need the 75 crafting. So this was actually working out very well. I'll hit 74 Hunter by just keeping up my birdhouse runs, and then I'll have the crafting levels to make the magic birdhouses. So yeah, that actually works out great. I'm still making molten glass, and as you can see by my inventory, I've made about 15k so far, but we really haven't even touched the sand supply that much, maybe use like 25% of what I currently have. So that's absolutely nuts. I definitely do have that 90 crafting bank like I was talking about. But as you can see, I now have the Varrock Armor 2 and the Dragon Pickaxe in my hand, because no one is currently on at the moment. So I feel like this is a good opportunity to go ahead and use the Dragon Pickaxe to grab that 70 mining. And I can really figure out how much sand and seaweed I really have after that. I think I have more seaweed than sand even after getting 70 mining. But it's a good opportunity to go ahead and get that Song of the Elf requirement out of the way, as there's a lot of people who want to use the Dragon Pickaxe. Dovidus, Dark World Order, and Alonscape all have Perfidius done, so Zolcano is very good with the Dragon Pickaxe. Since they're not online, this is a great opportunity to use it. Well, this actually did not take very long, if we can actually mine this ore here, or I guess sand. 70 mining. I made a big mistake last time. I kept using the south mining area. The north is like way faster. I don't know why I wasn't doing that. So yeah, I was getting like 40 to 45k XP an hour, and I was getting closer to 30k at the south area. Big mistake by me, but we now have about 7,000 buckets of sand. I claimed about 3k earlier, so we got about 10k going from 68 to 70 mining. So that's very nice. Let's go back to turning this all into molten glass. So I haven't finished making all of my molten glass yet. As you can see, we got 25k in the bank, and I took out a specific amount. This is actually going to be for a Lonescape. He is trying to corrupt his Boa Ferrodin, and this should be enough to get him to 78 crafting, so he can pie boost to 82. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that from the shared stored for him. So it's going to take a little bit away from my crafting XP, but I hope he appreciates that, and getting the Boa Ferrodin corrupted is honestly very big. What I have been doing is keeping up with my birdhouse friends. If we empty this one in here, we actually get ourselves 74 hunter, which does means I can now do magic birdhouses. Unfortunately, I need 75 crafting for that. We are not finished blowing all of our molten glass yet, so I'm going to finish making it all, and then I'll have to blow just a little bit of it and get that 75 crafting, and then we'll be able to do magic birdhouses, so that's actually pretty big. Okay, after this cast right here, we have finally used up all of our sand, so let me just pick up all the molten glass on the ground here, and let's see exactly how much molten glass I've made. I actually have no clue myself. I haven't checked it in a very long time, because this actually has taken a long time, but if we scroll up, 42,000 molten glass. That is awesome. Keep in mind I gave away like 13k or 14k to a Lonescape, and we have a lot of seaweed left, 3k giant and about 1.7k normal. So I'll probably gather more sand in the future, but the goal right now is 75 crafting. We got extremely close to that, just casting the super glass make spell, so less than 1,000 molten glass to use. Let's get that 75 crafting, and then we can do the magic birdhouses and start working on Song of the Elves. Alright, here we are, 75 crafting. That means we can now go ahead and replace our U birdhouses with magic birdhouses. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll start working on Song of the Elves requirements. Let's get rid of this U birdhouse and go ahead and replace it with the much better magic birdhouse. Now that we have all four of those placed down, let's go ahead and start working on Song of the Elves. If we take a look here, the only things we're really missing are the quests, which I am going to do last, and the construction and woodcutting requirement. I'm going to start with construction since I am already on the Lunar Spellbook. Why that matters is because I actually wanted to try out plank make a little bit. I've heard it's not the worst thing in the world. It's like 2k planks an hour if you actively do it, and probably closer to about 1k when you just AFK it. So I kind of want to do it a little bit AFK. I only need about 1,000 teak planks if I do mahogany homes, which I plan on doing. So yeah, let's give that a go. So you need a lot of astral runes in order to do the plank make spell, and I saw it was extremely close to a rune crafting level, so if we go ahead and use these here, we get ourselves 50 rune crafting. That's pretty big, that's base 50s, and I think that unlocks the large pouch, so that is very nice for the future. Okay, I have made myself just over 1,000 teak planks. This should easily be enough for 70 construction, so let's go ahead and do a bit of mahogany homes. Not quite level 70 yet, but if we go ahead and talk to Maria here, we get ourselves, walking away, 69 construction. No, I did not record because it's a funny number. I recorded because it's actually 1775 total. We've been making a lot of total level games. I think Dovidus is at 1800 total, so we're about 25 levels away. I think we can catch him though. The goal isn't really to catch him, but we got a lot of gains coming up. Almost the perfect amount of planks. These are the last 17 planks I have total. We go ahead and talk to Noella here. We actually get ourselves, we drink that nice cuppa, 70 construction. That is the second to last requirement I need for Song of the Elves. If we go back to the quest list here, scroll down to Song of the Elves. Last thing left is woodcutting, which is a very easy skill. I just haven't had the opportunity to train it. I think I'm going to go ahead and do some blisterwood to 65. 65 to 70, I'll probably do soul set mushrooms. There we are, 65 wood cutting. Again, we need 70 wood cutting, but that does unlock Solaceps. So 5 more levels to go. Honestly, this was really fast in AFK. I like watching a movie while doing this. Hopefully it's the same with Soul Steps. If I remember them correctly, they're actually super AFK as well. I have to say, Soul Steps were much faster than I remember. There it is, 70 woodcutting. We now have all the stat requirements to do Song of the Elves. Let's get into it. I am still missing a few quests if we scroll down to Song of the Elves. Morning End Part 2, and I haven't done Part 1 yet, but that's it. Morning End Part 1, Part 2, and then Song of the Elves. There we are, Morning's End Part 1 completed. 2 more quests to go. Next up, Morning End Part 2, then it's Song of the Elves, so let's get going. This one is quite a bit more difficult because of the whole handhold thing. There we are, Morning's End Part 2 completed. That's it, that's everything we need for Song of the Elves. If we scroll down here, we have all the requirements. Looks like we started at Edmund at his home. Looks like where it all began with the Plague City quest, or I believe that's what it's called. So let's get it going. Oh man, I made it into the Grand Library. I can't remember how long this takes. I think it's like an hour, maybe probably a little longer. This puzzle looks giant. It's been a while since I've done this. Let's see how long it takes. Alright, there is the Grand Library completed. That did not take too long whatsoever. Not as bad as I remember it. Now I have a bunch of boss fights ahead of me and then like the Saren fight. Okay, we have made it to the final part of the quest. Unfortunately, the heart was not in storage, but I think this is still just a little bit overkill for the final boss. Let's see how we do. And there we are. That is the fragment of Saren defeated, and that should be the quest complete. Now I just have to go through a bunch of cutscenes. There we are. Song of the Elves completed. I don't think I get any levels off this. Really close to a Julie level though. 1.3k away. I'll probably go grab that later. But yeah, that's a very big quest, and that's where I'm going to be ending off this video. Unlocking a brand new city, which holds a lot of potential. You guys will see that potential, and I'll explain it a little bit more in the next episode. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Glad we got this unlocked, and we've made a ton of progress this episode. And you know me, I'm going to continue to make more progress. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.